Money doesn't solve problems, but buys this one thing. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.
Helping you build freedom without losing your edge. This is the Going Long podcast with Billy Keels.
Money doesn't solve all problems, but buys this one thing. And I've thought a lot about this episode because this is one of the things that I get asked all the time because working with a lot of professionals, executives that are in, especially the enterprise software space, there's this idea that money will solve all problems. And I just want to share with you as a kid growing up, from a very working class or middle class family. And people are like, yeah, but sometimes people are asking me, like, I'll talk to people in the UK and they're like, well, but that means one thing for us and another thing for you guys. So let me define it. When I say working class, meaning that my parents worked multiple jobs through many times of my life to be able to make ends meet. And make ends meet, it means to pay the bills. And so when I say working class or middle class, that's exactly what I'm talking about, just so that helps you to understand. And what happens when you're a kid and you watch this, or at least for me, let me not talk for everybody else, but when I watched this go on for years and years and years, what I thought was basically you have to make enough money because money will help you to solve all the problems. Solve the problems, all the problems. Those were the problems that I was seeing. And so that's what I thought. Well, my parents were working multiple jobs because they want to make money, and the money that they're using to pay the bills to be able to take us to do things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you needed to have money. So that was my mindset growing up. Right? It doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just my mindset. This was part of the way that I grew up. And so because of that, I said to myself growing up, Billy, hey, look, you know what? You're going to go out and you're going to make so much money that you can't have any problems. You will never have any problems because you're going to make so much money. Like, that was a driver. That was a thing for me. And very few people would have asked. And I talked about that. It probably wasn't really comfortable growing up talking about all of that. However, if you would have pulled me to the side, I probably would have said, you know what, I just want to be able to have the security of putting and protecting my loved ones and not have to worry about it. And so I wouldn't have been as pointed in thinking about the money, but because that's what I had a reference of, that was what for me, I needed to do. I wanted to do was go out. I wanted to get good grades because I understood that was important to get into the right college. And when I got to the right college, then I would afterwards get the right job. And that job was going to pay me a lot of money, right? That's what I thought. Well, little did I know later on that would be something completely different. And having had a chance to visit my university after almost 3 decades recently, and I'm sure I'll talk about that at some point in the future, what I realized is that sometimes even you have setbacks, even if you do all of the things that you're supposed to do. You get the good grades, you get in the right college, you get supposed to get the right job. Well, sometimes that doesn't happen. And I'll go into a whole nother chant about that one. But what I realized, and this was just a couple of years ago, and I'm going to go ahead and timestamp this. This was back in 2023. And I'm going to share just a very abbreviated version of a story that I shared with my buddy, Jerome Myers, in episode 437. So if any of this starts to resonate with you, you're definitely going to want to go to check out episode 437, because Jerome was he was the maestro. You know, he was speaking like crazy, amazing, asking questions, and he pulled a lot out of me. So that episode, it will take you much deeper than what I'm getting ready to share with you in what I learned and what happened for me. Now I can see that it happened for me in 2023. Number one, I went through emotionally very challenging times, went through divorce. It was something that, it was just a very emotionally charged time, especially when you are thousands of miles or kilometers away from the people that love you the most, with the exception of my kids, of course. And one of the things, it was at the exact same time, like very close, that I realized that businesses can collapse. Businesses can take massive hits if you don't align and have the right people with similar values. And I won't go into all of that, but like I said, go check out episode 437. But let's just say that I got a really nice reminder, and I say that if you're watching the video version with the air quotes, that money doesn't solve all problems, Like that was the first time in my life I was like, well, I've got the money, but then the money, like, but I still couldn't solve the problems of having my heart hurting or not being able to be closest to family members that were far away, or not being able to go see closest friends and things like that, because I was thousands of kilometers away. And so I realized, like, didn't matter how much money I had, like the money wasn't going to solve the problems that I was going through. But here's the thing, right? Because anybody that says that you don't need money, they've never watched their parents work two jobs. They've never done it. It just doesn't happen, right? Because I can tell you that if you don't have the money to cover your basic needs, you do need to work, and you do need money. Money is important. So I'm not here to say that it's not. What I'm here to say is that I grew up thinking that it solved all problems, and it doesn't solve all of the problems. But it does by this one thing. And this is what I'm here to share with you. When you do it properly, the money, it will not solve all of your problems, but what it does do is it will help to buy you time. And then it is up to you what you do with that time. You can use that time to do a lot of different things. The thing that I really care about, and what I want to share with you, is it can help to buy options for you, options in how you invest that time. I wanted to be able to continue to invest time at that point in my life in 2023, as I was mentioned to you before, to be cared for by loved ones, to be able to share with my loved ones, and also to be able to create space to heal emotionally, right? It's just what I needed at the time. And as a result of what I went through in 2023 and the things that happened for me, it actually even helps to inform the clients that are working with me today, right? And because there is a very critical part of the program that we work, that we are a part of, or that my clients are a part of, that helps them to build beyond financial stability, because that financial abundance is one part of the formula, but you also must be resilient and be able to weather the storms. You have to be able to not only recognize your ability to weather the money storms, you have to be able to have the right mental and physical makeup. So having resiliency in your life, having the right relationships publicly and privately. So socially, you are resilient. You are leveraging or utilizing your time, that one resource that every single person gets the same 168. I was talking with a client about this just the other day. Everybody gets the same 168. What are you doing with yours? And then constantly being a curious person, building up that resilience in your knowledge, and also having the right emotional and spiritual resilience, because these are the things that will help you to solve all problems eventually, not just money. And also, too, if you want to go through, like, there's an entire episode on that as well, episode 453. Check it out. I go deep on the different areas and why it's important for you to have a resiliency plan. Like I said, 2023 is something that helped me to inform a critical part of the program that executives who are working in high profile, high paid companies today are going through, actually applying this and being able to become much more resilient. And see, the thing is even though I was going through this and I was recognizing this is a number of years later, to say, look, I thought all this was happening to me. I recognize that I am so fortunate. I'm so blessed it was happening. These things were happening for me so I can share them with you today. But it wasn't easy. Like, there were moments where I thought, hey, you know what? I was going against every single thing that I was taught growing up. I was taught, and I assimilated that money solved all problems. So it wasn't, and has not always been, an easy transition, but it's one of these things now that I recognize. Don't just focus on the money, focus on the relationships, focus on how you're using your time. What are you doing to intentionally learn new skills, new knowledge, right? These are the things that you want to lean into. It also helps to make you a much more well-rounded and resilient person, right? And so at the end of the day, was I fortunate? Yes, continue to be able to make money and understand how money can be made and created and used to serve others. But most importantly, what I realized is that it wasn't always about money solving all problems, because as I mentioned multiple times, it does not. But what it was about was the realization that money is a tool. Money is a tool that provides energy, and this energy can be used to solve problems. And most importantly, what can it buy? It can buy your time. It can buy you more time when you need to use that time, leverage it to take care of yourself, to take care of others. And that is the thing. That is one of the things that money can do, that energy that it provides. And that's what I want you to go away with, right? It's to recognize it doesn't solve all problems. Money does not. No. It doesn't. And it will. And it will, when used properly, that energy can be used to buy your time. And then how you use that time to create options for yourself, for others, that's when you get the biggest payback. And so, like I said, I just wanted to share this in another brief solo episode. You know where to find me. If you have questions, I'd love your feedback. I'd love to know what you're continuing to think about the podcast, as we are almost on the cusp of some 600 episodes. I know I'll be talking about that coming up. And guess who's going to be coming around the corner? You know, if you've been here any length of time, episode 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. If you don't know, check them out, because you're going to get ready for the guests, because I think they're going to be back. But anyway, that's it. So money doesn't solve all problems, but it does buy this one thing. That one thing is time. How do you best utilize it so that you can go out and you can make the impact that you're wanting to? I want to say to each and every one of you, you know where to find me. I want to say thank you for being here, for listening, for watching. Continue to share the episodes with your friends, with your family. Let us know what things you want me to talk about more into the future. And I'd like to say to everybody, thank you very, very much.